Rahul Gandhi continues to attack Modi government in the United States of America, accuses the BJP of promoting hate across India. Rahul Gandhi has said in the USA, I quote him here, BJP divides society, promotes hatred. Indians have a right to practice their religion. Bharatiya Janata Party has a polarizing vision for India, Rahul Gandhi has said. Remember, he was in San Francisco about 24 hours ago, now in Washington, speaking at the National Press Club. He has said BJP divides society, promotes hate and has polarized the nation.
They sort of generate a certain amount of hatred in society, they polarize society, and they're not inclusive. They don't embrace everybody, and they divide society. All Indian people, right, have a right to expression. All Indian people have a right to religious freedom. All Indian communities should feel free to express themselves. So I don't differentiate between any community, any caste. I think India, as I mentioned just now, is a conversation, and the freer and more open that conversation, the more powerful India becomes.
Let's try and get some perspective on this big reactions that have been coming in ever since as well. Joining me now from Washington is Aziz Hanifa, a journalist. Good morning, Mr. Aziz Hanifa. You know, how should one look at the strategy of Rahul Gandhi? He's been all guns blazing. He's very clear in his agenda, which is targeting Modi government in the USA. He did the same earlier in the UK as well.
Absolutely. That was sort of the overarching theme and the permeating theme. Both in California and today, this morning at the press club, and then at a dinner hosted by philanthropist and democratic fundraiser Frank Islam. The overarching theme was democracy is under siege in India, dangers of institutions of democracy unraveling, but at the same time optimistic that the Congress will come back into power. Said the media is distorting what's happening in India. Everything and the powers that be are distorting what's happening. So that's why he was very much on the offensive, you know, talking about hatred being fomented by the Modi government, by the BJP, and also saying that he saw an opportunity by the fact that he was disqualified. He said virtually there was some sort of martyrdom kind of thing that it made him freer to talk. And then he went into a lot of talk about his yatra, that it was explosive, it was terrific, and that's going to be the phenomenon that's going to change what's going on in India and the Congress coming back into power in 2024.
Very interesting, Mr. Aziz. And please stay on with me. I want the viewer to listen in again to what Rahul Gandhi said. This is in Washington, D.C., which was earlier was San Francisco. What did he say in Washington? Let's listen in.
They sort of generate a certain amount of hatred in society, they polarize society, and they're not inclusive. They don't embrace everybody, and they divide society. All Indian people, right, have a right to expression. All Indian people have a right to religious freedom. All Indian communities should feel free to express themselves. So I don't differentiate between any community, any caste. I think India, as I mentioned just now, is a conversation, and the freer and more open that conversation, the more powerful India becomes.
So this is what he has said, very clear, very crisp in his words, and that is about the Modi government in USA. Mr. Hanifa, here I also have an interesting point that I've been noticing, that all of this is to an Indian diaspora, which is fairly younger in nature. Earlier as well, he was speaking to students at the Stanford University, and that is what he has done in UK as well. He's reaching out to the Indian diaspora constantly. What do you think is the strategy behind it? Because many would ask, how does it matter what Rahul Gandhi says about India on a foreign soil? He should be speaking, if he wants to, in the country.
Yeah, well, there is no doubt that he was certainly reaching out to the diaspora, saying that he wanted their blessings and their thoughts and their support, and that they should get the message out. And of course, he was being chaperoned by a long-time mentor, Sam Pitroda, who kept saying that everyone should at least try to turn 10 votes or 100 votes, etc. But at the same time, he seemed to be also, saying that it was all a matter of institutions that were being threatened, and kept on attacking the media also as being sort of a fawning media, that what is coming out is virtually fake news, and that people are not getting the correct picture in the diaspora, that as if everything was under the Modi government and they are going to. And he said that Modi is not infallible, and that, he felt. He also kept on talking about the fact that the Yatra, he spoke that this was, when somebody asked him about how come the messaging has been so bad in terms of, he said that the Yatra had been explosive, and that he's very confident that this is what is going to change the tide. And he predicted that the next few elections were going to be all going to Congress. He was very confident. And at the same time, when there was a sense of resignation among some people that all was lost, because the Modi government had a lot of the powers that be behind them. But he said that the younger population, and when he went on the Yatra, he had met so many people, and that they were all professing love, and that democracy is going to be saved by him and his cohorts.
How does it go on from here on, Mr. Aziz Anoia, for the next few days? What is the plan of Rahul Gandhi in USA?
Yeah, so tonight he was at Frank Islam, a big-time democratic fundraiser and philanthropist who has a palatial home, 40,000 square feet, and there was a standing room only crowd, and the same was in California, where it was packed audiences. And of course there was a very powerful, influential Democratic congressman, at least senator, called Senator Chris Van Hollen, who also came out very strongly and said he was appalled at the disqualification of Rahul Gandhi from the parliament, from the Lok Sabha, and he also said that he was very worried about democracy. And Rahul Gandhi also made the point that when he was asked why should the US worry about a democracy being under siege, he said that US should worry because if democracy is lost in India, it's going to be a global phenomenon, that democracy would be lost globally. And so it was, but it was interesting when he was asked foreign policy questions, he was very much in sync with the BJP government in terms of vis-a-vis Russia, the India's policy on Russia, etc. But otherwise he was very feisty, and he took a lot of zingers at Prime Minister Modi. Didn't hold back.
Yes.
Of course, as you know, out in San Francisco at Stanford and Santa Clara, he had made some personal attacks too,
Yes.
So and when people asked him at the press club,
yes, he's been all guns blazing. His strategy is very clear. I do have a disagreement with the media criticism, because if we were fawning on anyone, we wouldn't be running top story headlines and bulletins with what Rahul Gandhi has to say for days in row. So thank you so much, Mr. Aziz Anoia. I appreciate you joining us.